Oh, hey guys. I didn't see you there. Hang on a second. Okay, so today we're talking about interview considerations. There are two main areas. It's going to be what employers are looking for in you and what you're looking for in your employer or your work environment. And we've all heard it before. They're not just interviewing you, you're interviewing them. But honestly, I still get nervous and really hope that they're going to pick me over any other person. So let's take a look at these areas and see if we can get you a leg up on the competition. What employers look for in you. Of course, there's all those general things like adaptability, assertiveness, creativity, interpersonal skills, and the one that we all hear, what are your strengths and weaknesses? And then there's, of course, the audiology-specific ones, which would be your general knowledge in the field, which is what we've been learning the past 4 years, your past clinical experience, the reflex pathway. And I've actually never had anyone ask this, but everyone insists that they will. So, just keep it in mind, I guess. Your philosophy on patient care, experience with hearing aid manufacturers, experience with Baha or cochlear implants, how good you are at doing audiological testing, and what type of equipment you're already familiar with. So go ahead and know the manufacturers because I totally blanked on this one for my 4th year interview and ended up having to read like 6 manuals. So, just remember that one. Of course, then there's the fun part, what you're looking for. So how does their management structure work? Do they work as a team or is it more hierarchical? Where do they see the business or practice going? Because if they're going in a direction that you don't want to go, it might not be a job that you want. What hours do they operate? What is their patient population? I know for some of you, working with kids would be the worst thing ever. So if they see a lot of kids, you might want to go in the other direction. What is the vibe of the office? Now this one can be tougher because everyone tends to be on their best behavior. It was a little easier for me with Island Audiology because it was like a regular day. They were in the middle of their work day and stuff was going on, so they all kind of just popped in to talk to me, have a conversation. What sort of continuing education experience are available? So is there going to be times that they send you off to get your CEUs, or will they help you pay for it at all? Being in Hawaii, everything is back on the mainland, so it's really expensive for us to fly back. Just something to keep in mind there. Some other questions for an interview would be, what's your time frame for filling this position? This is something David and I had to deal with as he was interviewing for jobs out here. He'd interview for one, and it seemed to like him, it seemed to be going well, and then it would be over a month before they got back to us. So when you're looking for a job and you kind of need one, having someone that's not motivated to fill it is, something to think about. What does a regular day look like for the practice? And what's your favorite thing about working here? And that can probably give you a pretty good idea about what life is like working there. Some questions that you may be asked. What's the most difficult adjustment you've ever had to make? How would you describe your work style? If you had a dispute with a coworker, how would you handle it? And it's probably not going to be shooting someone with a water gun, Justin King. What are your career goals for the next 3 to 5 years? What has been your experiences working as part of a team? In your opinion, what are the advantages and disadvantages of working as a team? Give me an example of something you had to learn that was difficult. What is your personal definition of success? What are your plans for self-improvement and personal development? How would you go about organizing yourself to accomplish goals? What is your process for establishing priorities? Which of your personal characteristics enhances your effectiveness in communicating with others? Why do you think you're a good fit for this position? If you had an opportunity to develop a basic set of values and beliefs which serve as a company's foundation for success, what would those be? In your opinion, what's the difference between a vision and a mission? What are 1 or 2 areas in which you think you could improve your performance? Of what accomplishments in your life are you most proud? Now, you're probably not going to be asked all of these questions, but I think some of them would be good just to think about and have in the back of your mind for your own, personal or professional development. Good information there. So maybe now when you walk into an interview, you'll have a couple aces up your sleeves. And always good to be sending you messages from the beautiful Hawaii. Aloha and ahui ho.